In 1808, the land was transferred to the Baptist congregation, and by 1809 there was a building built. Charles Thompson records in his diary, beginning on September 11th, that a Baptist church or congregation was formed. Sunday was clear. It was a very solemn day. Mr. Stanton, Mr. Rogers, and Mr. Jones attended and baptized 4 persons. After that, formed the 18 persons that Mr. Jones had baptized into a congregation. And they constituted Mr. Jones their pastor, and gave them the right hand of fellowship, and laid their hands on them, and after that administered the Lord's Supper and the singing of a hymn. The congregation was assembled, was very large. Mr. Rogers and Mr. Inglis and Mr. Jones and their wives came home with me for supper. By April of 1809, the new church was begun. Monday was cloudy, and I attended the place where the new church is about to be built. Mr. Jones and Mr. S.W., I don't know the name, Mr. Kerwin and Mr. Taylor, and 40 workmen attended. I laid the first stone. Mr. Jones followed it with a prayer, and the masons proceeded with the work. I paid Mr. Kerwin my subscription, 10 shares of Schuylkill Bridge stock. That was March. By June 12, 1809, the church was built up to the square. That means the stone walls were up. And on July 8, 1809, a foggy morning soon cleared, a day moderately warm. The church was raised today by a large crowd of carpenters and with neighbors to assist. The work was completed with great order and dispatch. So it was Charles Thompson, whose wife's family owned the Harriton property. It was Charles Thompson who arranged the transfer of land to the Lower Merion Baptist Church in 1880.
Those who remember me when I was here 4 years out of the 200 years that this church is celebrating today, you know that a minute is interpreted, in my understanding, is 380 seconds. First of all, let me say that I'm grateful for the opportunity that I had to serve here as transitional pastor for 4 years.
Well, the 200th anniversary to me is just strong evidence of how old the church really is. I'm involved right now with trying to identify and get tombstones for all the Revolutionary War veterans, and so far we have 35 Revolutionary War veterans that are buried in the cemetery. So it's taking the heritage of the church from those men, you know, all through the years, and with all the pastors that we've had, and all the efforts that the church has put to have an outreach.
But it celebrates that our church has been at this location for a long, long time, and our 200th anniversary is going to be celebrated here in this church. And to me, it's a time to remember, a time to think back and reflect on the past, and also a time to make plans for the future, what we're going to do, what's coming up. Because in God's world, people change, times change, but His word and His expectations of us doesn't change.
No, I'm thrilled to be able to participate and see the 200th anniversary of the church. I have so many great memories here of the church, spending my life here. It's the only church I've ever known. My son Dave is the 5th generation Shank family to attend this church. I was originally married here. I married my wife Helen in 1972 here at the church, and then she unfortunately passed away in '96. But I got together with one of my old loves from the 60s, Judy, and we were married here at the church in 1998. And down the road, I I can foresee my son Dave is talking about, he wants to get married here too eventually. And also my stepson Bill wants to get married here. Planning to get married here just in a few months from now, in April of 2009. So the tradition continues in the family.
It's amazing that the church here is still in existence 200 years after its beginning, because the church has gone through some great times and some difficult times, particularly in the 90s. But I think the fact that we were able to survive through the efforts of our transition minister, Nick Salios. Nick and Rose came and helped the church pull itself out of a funk, so to speak.
To me personally, I guess it's a reminder that the church is bigger than any one individual or any one pastor. And history does that to me. I'm an old history student from my college days, and the church's history is larger than all of us, and yet we're all a part of it. And I guess I helped lead a 185th anniversary celebration about the first year I got here. And again, I learned a lot about the church's history and the impact that it's had on its community and the people who've been a part of it for years and years. So the 200th is just very special to me, and to be called back and just to be recognized as a part of its history and its great tradition is very special, and it's an honor to me.
Oh, it's terrific. I was here for the 175th anniversary. My wife and I were here. Jackie was the organist. I was the choir director from 80 to 85. And I remember celebrating that then and learning about Charles Thompson and learning about all the history. So it's neat to kind of be reliving this again. And what a great pastor you have, Pastor Malone. And Mary Punchin, who I hired as the alto soloist. She started when just a couple of years after we started here. So it's wonderful to see her.